Welcome back to Better or Worse Than Transformers. We take movies or TV shows and tell you whether they are better or worse than the most mediocre movie ever made. At least that's what we do most weeks. But this week, we are going to try and introduce you to the wonderful world of anime. The much maligned, misunderstood world of anime.
It's poked fun at a lot.
It is. So we're gonna try and break down some stigmas and
give you the white man's version.
Sure. I'm your host, Joseph. With me is my co-host, Christian.
What's up?
And no Ian.
No Ian, not here today. He's got butthole problems.
As usual. But first we're going to break in with some of the news. The first thing we have on the news is between when we recorded last week and when we started recording this week, Alec Baldwin has been announced as, I guess, Thomas Wayne in the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and then subsequently announced that he was not in the...
I think like 2 days later.
It was very soon after.
Look, I don't blame him. I think the moment he got the job, I don't think he was prepared for like the nerd bombardment that was going to come with it. That's something he was like, I'm not.
It does seem like I can't imagine Joaquin Phoenix doing that shit either. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine Joaquin Phoenix at Comic-Con?
Yeah, no, and I don't think he will.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was part of his like agreement to do this role. Is I'm not going to do the normal crap.
I can see Joaquin Phoenix punching somebody on the street who's approaching him to talk about Joker.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a thing that I can foresee happening.
I'm pretty sure Joaquin Phoenix said he didn't give a shit, like quote unquote, don't give a shit what people expect from him. I don't know that Alec Baldwin is that comfortable in himself.
No.
I also don't really like the Alec Baldwin pick for Thomas Wayne.
No, I don't either.
So I'm good with it.
I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan should just maintain that one forever.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't. I get they don't want to connect it, right? It's supposed to be its own standalone thing, but he can play Thomas Wayne in like every medium. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too.
They wanted Viggo Mortensen, from what I heard.
That would be fine. I mean, look.
He could play Joaquin's dad, I think.
Yeah, that would actually work. I'm okay with Jeffrey Dean Morgan forever because I think that's a great cast. But mostly, look, I don't want a Flashpoint movie in the sense that I don't really like the Flashpoint story, but I want Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be the Flashpoint Batman.
Oh, for sure. When I say he could play Joaquin's dad, I think he could be the Joker's dad. I also feel like this movie may pull a twist on us and make Joker Batman's brother just because it seems like a crappy thing Todd Phillips would do.
Sure. Who's Todd Phillips?
He directed the Hangover movies.
Oh, yeah.
And that movie that you hated about the guns and Jonah Hill and Miles Teller were in.
Oh, War Dogs.
Yeah, he also made that.
It's not a good movie.
And I think, what's the Will Ferrell Old School? I think he made that movie as well.
I kind of like that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it holds up.
This movie's going to suck.
Probably. Next up, Netflix announced quite a few release dates. I wrote down the TV shows. I don't know if you remember any of the other things.
I don't remember the movies. But
okay. They just put out a trailer for The Dragon Prince from the makers of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
It's very exciting.
It comes out September 14th. I'm excited about it. It looks like a cool fantasy world, and the only thing I'm nervous about with this is the animation. It's got this weird, like a 12, what's a normal movie? 24 frames per second?
Something like that, yeah.
It looks like it's half. Like it looks like there's just a little bit too long between each frame, and that's throwing me off a little bit from being into it. But maybe once I start watching it,
you'll be into it.
Yeah,
appreciate it more.
I hope so. But I'm just excited. I know.
Did you watch Legend of Korra?
I did.
I didn't watch it. I didn't have not that I had ill will against it or anything.
Yeah, it is by the same guys, and it's got a lot of good things in it, but it's got a lot of frustrating things. It does not have. I mean, one, it was designed to only be one season, and that's very clear from the beginning. But it doesn't handle its story structure or its characters nearly as well as The Last Airbender.
That if Legend of Korra didn't exist, do you think you would be more excited for this new show?
Yes, because in my mind they'd be batting 1,000. And this, look, Legend of Korra is still good. Like it's still worth watching. But Avatar: The Last Airbender is
I mean, it's one of the best cartoons I think ever made.
Yeah, no, I mean like it's genuinely like a top 3 series for me.
Yeah.
So I'm still excited about it. I'm excited to see.
Kylo Ren is Zuko. That's my opinion.
In like a live action one?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
They also announced the new BoJack season, which is also coming out September 14th. BoJack Horseman, which I don't know that you ever watched.
I watched the first season, and the self-deprecating humor just was too dark.
It's real depressing,
and I couldn't. Because I binge things, right? So it was. I had watched like Mindhunters, Black Mirror, and then BoJack Horseman like back to back to back, and it just was just too much.
That is too
dark.
much. Yep.
So I think I probably could enjoy BoJack if I watched it on its own. By the time I was just in like a very dark space, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean it is a dark, depressing show. It's a weird show that's got like. Again, the premise of it, I can't really explain it to you, but the premise is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Is Holly Hunter, is she the...
No.
Who is the cat lady, his girlfriend?
Amy Sedaris. I'm not really familiar with her.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it's a mixture of very, like, goofy, absurdist, like, wordplay humor, and, like, just really, really dark, introspective shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. Like, it's my favorite show. Every single season that comes out, I watch every season before that. And
so you're going to rewatch this?
I just finished season 1 this morning.
Wow, you're a dedicated fan.
I really like this show, so I'm pretty excited about it. And then they also announced, and I was wondering when this was coming out, the second season of Big Mouth, which was their Netflix is also animated. It's like a preteen going
Dealing
through
with puberty and hormones. You watched this show. Didn't you watch it with your wife?
I did, yeah. No, I was surprised that she was into it. But it's one of those things, like, it kind of tackles some of the taboo aspects of puberty, but I feel like it does it in a very, like, tender, sensitive way.
Yeah.
And so, like, the characters are very likable and identifiable, and the cast list for that show is phenomenal.
Great.
Like, it's all great comedians. But yeah, no, it's well written. It's way more charming than it should be on its surface.
Yeah, I tried watching it, but I watched it at work, and I watched the first episode.
That's not a good idea.
I was like, this is bad. I'm going to get fired.
You would.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm excited about Netflix's slate coming up, and
I just want to say I hope my bosses never find this podcast and realize how much I talk about watching TV at work.
Just based on what I know about our listenership numbers, the odds are pretty low.
That's a real slim chance.
Next up, we got the new Die Hard movie, Die Hard 6, I think.
Yeah, I believe we're at 6.
Has a title, and the title is McClane.
Yeah, got to go the Rocky Balboa Rambo route at this point, and I heard it was supposed to be a prequel, but now that's scrapped.
I don't know, man.
It was going to be like Die Hard Year 1, after like Batman, and maybe it's still going to be that, but I heard that's gone. Would you not have Bruce Willis in it? I mean, you can if you're going to do that.
I don't know what I want to do with this franchise.
I don't want to do anything with it.
I mean, maybe that is the right direction to go, but I definitely don't want to call... Like, I feel like the names are just like... The names of Die Hard movies are as fun as the names of Bond movies. Like, I want you to...
Keep trying to, like, make it...
Keep making goddamn puns or ridiculous... Like, I don't know.
But we only had those for the last couple, right? Because you had Die Hard 1, 2, and 3, and Live Free Die Hard...
Yeah. Well, no, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I guess that's true. Die Hard with a Vengeance, yeah.
And I mean, I don't like Live Free or Die Hard, but I like the title.
Was that the last one? Or that was 4, I thought. I can't remember.
It's
hard to keep up.
It is. But anyway.
They're not good anymore.
This shouldn't happen. Yeah, and it shouldn't be called McClane.
I don't think we should try to keep making like sequels to these 90s action movies because I don't think they hold up as well as we think they do. Or at least as a series. Terminator... I don't need any more of those. Those were fine in 1992. They're not fine in 2018. And same thing's true for Die Hard.
I agree. I'm with you. Next up, they released a new Predator trailer, which actually finally looks like a Shane Black movie.
Yeah, it looked great. When I saw this trailer, I was like I was like, I want to see this movie.
There was quippy dialogue. Mm-hmm. There was humor. It looks like a ragtag band of kind of crazy people.
Yep.
I'm way more excited about it than I was from the previous 2 trailers.
For sure. The previous 2 trailers, I think, leaned heavily into this concept of it's predators, but there's going to be a super predator. And that's not what attracts me to this movie. Right. What attracts me to this movie is Shane Black and his humor and the cast, and this last trailer really showed that off. Plus, it was pretty gory, pretty violent, and seemed like they're leaning into the R, which is what you want to see out of this franchise.
Definitely.
Yep.
It's a Predator movie. Matt Smith has been... I guess officially announced as being cast in the new Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm. The 11th Doctor.
Right.
Coming to a galaxy far, far away. I don't have strong feelings about this. I think he's going to play a First Order officer.
Oh, for sure.
Him and Hux are going to...
I mean, he could be a stormtrooper. Who knows, man?
That's true. Tom Hardy was one.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like every week we have a new person joining episode 9, and we don't know jack squat about it, so I'm not even sure why we keep talking about it at this point.
Oh, well, in this particular case, it's just because it's the converging of nerd worlds.
That's true. I feel like Matt Smith is trying really hard to like plant himself as like an actor, like maybe not A-list, but like at least like B-list. And it's just really struggling. He was in Terminator Genesis.
Yep.
Which was bad. The Crown. And now this. I mean, I'm sure there's something else in there, but I don't know what it is.
I just feel like he's got too weird of a face
It's a strange face.
To be like, I don't know, like I feel like he fit the character of Doctor Who.
Of the Doctor. Yeah.
Of Doctor Who. Okay. But I don't know. I feel like he, for me, he's like what I think of Doctor Who, and then
for sure,
and then probably David Tennant.
Mm-hmm. It should be David Tennant first, and then Matt Smith.
Yeah, no, I know, but I don't know. Maybe
you don't watch Doctor Who.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it rose to popularity. Like its peak popularity will be Matt Smith, and you talk about his weird face. Like it's kind of part of the. We have this character, who can become different people or whatever. Yeah. Like that plays into. You can have weird looking actors or whatever, and it can be a part of the story. But in anything else, like I'm just supposed to accept his abnormally large chin.
Right, exactly.
And it's hard. Maybe he'll be an alien.
Maybe. That would be appropriate.
Yes.
Again, I'm still upset that Woody Harrelson wasn't an alien in Solo. Because
he would have been way better.
He would have been way better as an alien, but it's fine.
Person.
Robin Wright's coming back to Wonder Woman 84, even though I'm pretty sure she died in Wonder Woman 1.
I think Nazis killed her, or... Did Nazis kill her? I don't remember when she dies. I'm sure it's when the Nazis show up on the beach.
Sure. If you're not sure, it's probably the Nazis.
Yeah. Which apparently in Wonder Woman, every death that happened in Wonder Woman, not permanent. Good. Now that we know Chris Pine's back and Robin Wright's back.
I mean, look, it's comic books.
That's fair.
Nothing's permanent. I don't have a lot of feelings on that. Good for Robin Wright getting work.
Yeah, and now that one show's over, House of Cards.
Yeah, it's got one. Well, I guess she's already been paid for that season.
Yeah,
so fair enough.
She needs work.
Yep. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is trying to get cast as Lobo.
He wants more comic book roles.
I think he's too old for it, but you seem to like it. So
I think it's a good cast. I think he's kind of got that. He can pull off that like macho man attitude.
He's definitely got the swagger.
Jacked. He's got the facial hair. You may not get a series out of Jeffrey Dean Morgan Lobo, but if I could just get one, I would enjoy it.
I mean, he would be fun as a cameo.
I saw there was comicbook.com tweeted out the link, and The Rock just tweeted back, hell yes. Mm-hmm. So, look, if he's on board and he was my pick for Lobo, that's good enough for me.
Fair enough. Mr. Robot got canceled, which I was excited about.
Super happy about.
I am excited about it.
I don't have strong feelings. I never watched this show. I really hate Christian Slater. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how he's gotten like a kind of a renaissance of his career in like voice acting.
Really?
He's been in like every animated thing for like several years now.
I think I've known him in some DC stuff.
Yeah.
But I really, I don't know. Early 90s Christian Slater.
Look, he's not a good actor.
Tainted the rest of it for me.
For sure.
My favorite Christian Slater moment is when he dies in Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, right.
He's like in the car or whatever. Yeah, I hate that guy. And I know you don't like the show, so.
Yeah, no, it's a good concept. It's one of those shows that I've never actually finished it. I made it most of the way through season 1, and I was like, this is cynical bullshit. But it's one of those things where it's like beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. Like the artistic direction for that movie is great, and the basic premise I feel like is okay. But they just lean way too hard into the cynical loner who really understands the world and everyone else around. It's like the Holden Caulfield thing. Everybody else is a phony who's dumb and doesn't understand the way the world works. And oh god, it's so exhausting.
Mm-hmm. So I'm never going to give it the time of day.
Good fucking riddance.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
it's gone.
But yeah, that's it for the news.
Not a super exciting week in that regard, but
I mean, I'm excited about the Netflix stuff mostly.
Yeah.
But that's
like cartoons.
I do.
Which
good segue, Christian. So yeah, that leads us into this week. We're going to be doing.
Well, Ian's not here.
Well, that's one of the main reasons that
he's got another anal fissure flare up.
Yeah,
he can't be here. So we decided we would talk about something that we both enjoy and he absolutely hates.
Correct. And mostly because I know he's going to look at the episode title and get pissed off about it.
Yes. He won't listen to it, though.
No.
This should be the one he would listen to.
It should be.
But anime is a style of animated art form, I guess, that you say based on Japanese mangas. Really kind of rose to power in the 60s, but then really didn't become popular until, I would say, like the 80s. 90s here in the States, really.
So, I mean, the OG one, the original one that everyone agrees on for both the manga, which is essentially Japanese comic books, and anime is Astro Boy.
Yep. And that's a real long time ago.
I didn't realize it was that
yeah,
old.
like the 60s. And then what was the big one? I think the first really big one in the States would probably be Speed Racer, right?
Right, and that was also like 60s or 70s, somewhere around there. But, you know, there's a style known for its big eyes and, like, spiky hair. You know, it's got a very distinct visual style that you would recognize,
It's
probably.
filled with tropes.
But for you and I mean, so there were cartoons coming out from Japan making it to American broadcast since Astro Boy to now. But I would say, like, the kind of the big breakout period here, and I think it was already known, but, like, when everyone started to know is when... they started doing Toonami on Cartoon Network, which was the late 90s, I think like 98.
Yeah, it was around that time frame.
It was this wonderful stretch of programming between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, which was right after school for me.
100%.
Where they just nailed you with a bunch of Japanese animated stuff. And a lot of it was like fighting genre. That's where you get DBZ, you know, Dragon Ball Z.
You had what? Sailor Moon was
Sailor Moon,
Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, I think. And it I don't know if it was the original Gundam Wing, but I remember like several Gundam spin-offs coming on during the Toonami time frame. Inuyasha, I mean, there was a wide variety. I would say the staples in there was probably Dragon Ball Z, and I remember Sailor Moon a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think it came on like the block before DBZ.
There were definitely some odder ones in there.
Yes.
Here and there. Hamtaro.
Yeah. There was a Gundam spin-off, but like the Gundams were like small and they were sentient.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Interesting.
But I remember that one. Toonami's what got me in anime.
It's what got me into it. I think it's what got an entire generation.
Do you consider the Tom Shorts anime? Because
I do. So Toonami was a block that was hosted by a robot on a spaceship somewhere in the middle of
nowhere.
Yeah. Who I don't know, was he just doing it for us? Was it just like
I think you're reading too much into it, why he was doing it. Broadcasting essentially throughout the universe.
But they did occasionally weave in like story arcs of him in between like the shows.
Well, it was always like when they wanted to update Toonami, like the general look, they would create a narrative where like Tom would get destroyed or Tom would get replaced, and you found yourself like really caring about this, you know, fake cartoon robot DJ, basically. Yeah, no, some of my favorite memories growing up were coming home after school, rushing to do my homework as fast as I can so that I could sit there and watch.
Look at you doing your homework.
Yep.
Like a good little boy.
I stopped shortly after that.
Also around the same time, these Japanese cartoons, the anime started showing up on like Saturday morning cartoons. And that's where, I mean, Pokemon was already around in the game form. Christian's got his Pikachu shirt on right now.
Specifically for this.
And then Digimon and a couple of other... Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. So, I mean, this is really when I feel like it really started to take a hold in the American market.
Through a lot of different mediums, too, because you saw it in video games. Obviously, Pokemon started off as, you know, like a handheld game. And then card games, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess Digimon really didn't kind of have that. It just was kind of a ripoff of Pokemon, but it was everywhere. And I think I struggle to think about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! and Digimon as anime, but they really are. I mean, they come from those Japanese origins. Have you ever read manga? Like,
no.
Yeah, I never.
Has anyone?
I'm sure there are people.
I'm not sure.
I never, as much as I enjoy anime, I've never gone back that far. Like, I've never to the origin or whatever the material. But keep going. Sorry.
Since then, kind of, I wouldn't say it's the heyday. I feel like anime still got a big hold. But you know, the kind of the Toonami era where it really started to gain an audience here. You've started to see its influences in other things. You know, Avatar: The Last Airbender is an American production that very much imitates the style of a lot of the Japanese animation. I'd argue that a lot of stylistic choices have also kind of bled their way into some of the character designs for Disney characters over the last, like, 20 years.
How so? Like, which one specifically?
I don't know. The general, like, face shapes, the jaw design, the eye design, that
you know
kind
what,
of
you say that, like, in Elsa, I really can see
Absolutely.
it, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I never picked up on that, but you're right.
So anyway, we kind of wanted to break into this one because both Christian and I have been on our own
deep
dive renaissance. We loved this when we were younger, and then we both kind of dropped off a little bit, and then we realized there's probably a lot of good stuff out there that we've never seen. So we've been on a rediscovery period that we've really enjoyed. But also, I feel like this whole genre is kind of maligned in a way that I think comic books and comic book culture was maligned, 20 years ago.
For sure.
And I think it don't get me wrong, there are a lot of complaints about specific tropes in anime that aren't untrue.
Yeah, they're justified.
Yeah, but That said, there are plenty of great things and exceptions to those rules that have come out. I mean, most of the stuff that I have is in the last like 15, 20 years that I think is, if you've never tried it out, that might be worth a shot.
For sure. Do you, before we get going, do you think something like a serious, for comic books, right? Like Spider-Man, X-Men, Iron Man, those 3 films.
Yeah.
Brought it back to the forefront and made it say, hey, these things can be cool. They can work on film. And that inspired people to go back and read comics or pick up a graphic novel or visit their local comic book shop. Do you think that's what it's going to take for anime to be kind of more widely accepted, is a well-made live-action film? And do you even think that's possible?
I don't know. Like it's kind of different in the sense that I feel like with superheroes specifically, kids always like superheroes. They've liked them forever. And so I think a lot of the success of that is that they built movies that I think parents thought they'd take their kids to because their kids like superheroes, and then they get in them, and then they like them.
They also enjoy it.
Right. And I think that's how you get the wide spread from there. Is it was originally a thing that was mostly considered for children and weirdos.
That's true.
And once it gets exposed to a larger audience, then everyone likes it. And maybe that is what it takes. I don't know. I just don't know that there's the same entryway.
I think the problem that anime has in that regard that we were talking about is, so like when you go back 20 years ago, as a parent, maybe you were into that as a kid, but at a certain age, either society told you or you just lost interest and you said, that's for children. It's like you're talking about. They make these movies and there's a wide audience, and while it's something your kid can enjoy, you, the adult, also enjoys, but it also harks back to something you liked as a kid. Anime is difficult in that it is what people assume is a medium for children.
Right.
It's animation. And very often, the content is not for kids.
Very often.
So it's dealing with very adult themes and very adult content, but presenting it in a way that you automatically assume is for children. And because then it doesn't, in the U.S. anyway, or Western culture, maybe it doesn't have as wide of an appeal. When you do make these live action versions of it, they don't have a large target audience. So you're going to have to make a good one. Unfortunately, you're going to have to make a good one of something everything knows, like Dragon Ball Z. Like, that's going to have to be the one that people say, okay, I would give more of these a shot. Even though probably like a movie of Your Lie in April would be much easier to achieve.
Right.
But no one's going to... Well, I don't know. Maybe in that case it would work, because then you don't advertise it as an anime. You just advertise it as this...
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's certainly a more complex problem than we're going to figure out here on Better or Worse than Transformers.
We're gonna do our best shot at kind of breaking the stigma and giving you some good starting entry points into the genre. So we're going to talk mostly about TV, but some of the great movies are a lot of them are actually older than the last 15 or 20 years, but they still really hold up. Probably the most famous one is Ghost in the Shell, which they made an awful Scarlett Johansson movie out of.
I never saw the movie.
Don't watch that movie. Go watch the original. It's really good.
If you like The Matrix,
yes,
watch Ghost in the Shell and you realize the Wachowskis stole everything.
Almost everything.
But
now, granted, Ghost in the Shell stole most of their visual style from Blade Runner, and they admit that. So it's kind of a copy. It's a carbon copy of a carbon copy. But definitely if you like that kind of techno-futurism thing, it's a really good one.
I would also warn you, there are about 40 million Ghost in the Shell spin-offs and sequels since the original came out.
The other famous one, so Ghost in the Shell came out in like 88, I think, 87. Another one from that era is Akira, which I don't really love that much, but
it's pretty famous. I mean, a lot of people have seen it. I enjoy Akira. It's probably a little too bizarre for me, like to where I would watch it on a regular basis. But if you would like to know the history or roots of, I would honestly say modern anime or anime as we know it today, Akira is probably the kind of the birthplace of that.
That's probably true. And then very famously, anything made by, there's a Japanese studio called Studio Ghibli, kind of headed by a guy named Hayao Miyazaki. And literally everything they make is gold.
It's all good.
He's the title that's been given to him is kind of the Japanese Walt Disney. And that's not inaccurate. Every single one of them, the animation's beautiful. The stories are
super heartwarming.
They're heartwarming. They're rich. They're complex.
They are, like, not to go back on they're gorgeous movies.
They are gorgeous movies. And it's one of those things where I would say they're designed for all audiences. They're not. They're probably considered children's movies, and I wouldn't go that far. I would consider it like they have very universal messages. I don't feel like they pander down to children in any way. But almost all of them you can probably watch with a child.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Yep. What are some other ones?
Howl's Moving Castle. Spirited Away won the Academy Award for
those are the
animated
big three,
feature.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, but there's dozens of them, and I don't think you can go wrong anywhere.
They say he's making another one, but it'll probably take another 5 years or something to make.
But kind of the direction that Christian and I wanted to go today is we've both been on the anime TV stretch the last couple months, last year maybe.
Yep.
And so we're going to try and give you some good entry points into there, and these are all on streaming services, so they're easily accessible.
Yep, that's how we've watched them.
The things we're not going to cover today, because while they're very seminal and they were important in our lives and important in a lot of people's lives, they may not be a good starting point. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do Dragon Ball Z. We're not going to do Pokemon or Digimon.
Shoot a monkey.
I know. You got any other ones that we're missing that people will be upset about?
No, those are probably, specifically Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon are probably the big two. That people, you commonly associate to anime, but one, Pokemon is absolutely for children. There's very little there for an adult, and Dragon Ball Z is a undertaking. Naruto being another one I would include in that conversation.
I've never watched Naruto, so
because there's 700 episodes. Like you that seems daunting. And while there's probably stuff in all three people would enjoy, I would not recommend a person. You have to decide, I'm going to be committed to this. I'm going to like this. And there's also stuff in all three you probably can avoid because they're not great throughout.
Definitely true. And I mean, that's one of the stereotypes about the genre is that there's a lot of filler episodes.
Yep.
And I would argue that's not a problem for just anime. There's a lot of animation worldwide from America that has a lot of filler that's designed for children. But the things we're going to cover today are not.
That's just true for television at this point.
That is true for television.
House went for how many seasons?
Oh, fuck, too many. Realistically, that doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's the thing with all these shows. Yep. There are good episodes in the later seasons, but man, you got to dig for them.
I think the ones we've chosen actually are decent lengthwise. There may be one that's fairly long, but
I've intentionally tried to pick ones that are kind of on the shorter side, that do not have fluff, that do not have extra stuff. These are just great shows all the way around, and it wouldn't be a list. It wouldn't be this kind of list if we didn't start with Cowboy Bebop.
It's the best.
It is absolutely the best.
Everything, animation's gorgeous in
phenomenal.
It. Phenomenal. The soundtrack is it's baller.
It's a band called the Seatbelts, and they just do a bunch of really, I don't know, it's all jazz, like different kinds of jazz, but
there's almost like a Western influence, like a rock influence, but still maintaining like a really jazzy feel. The characters in Cowboy Bebop are cool as shit.
It's a space western.
Yep.
It's some future. We don't know how far in the future, but everybody can travel from planet to planet. But
cigarettes are still a thing.
Cigarettes are very much a thing, but it's very much got a western style and a western feel to it. And like Christian said, I mean, it's just indefensibly cool. Like the whole thing is just so cool.
Again, we talk about the look, the music, the characters. That's the best way to describe all of it.
Yeah.
It's just smooth. It's cool. It's people you want to hang out with, and scenery you want to watch. I mean, you talk about something with no filler episodes. Like it's short.
I think there's only one season, right?
There's one season, and there's a movie, and it's easy to watch. It's probably the best introduction, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. I think I mean, the only reason I would tell you not to do this one to this person is because
you're going to be disappointed.
There's nothing else like it. It's in its own tier for me.
We talk about what Toonami did and how it introduced us to anime.
Yeah.
While I watched a ton of anime in that programming, my appreciation for the genre was born out of Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Because it showed me what it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I enjoyed Dragon Ball Z and people beating the crap out of each other, it doesn't do this art form justice in how it can be just artistic and competitive with other art forms in television or film. And Cowboy Bebop is, I mean, it's like the quintessential. It's just great.
Sad. We didn't actually go through the plot of this one. It's
not
kind
really,
of
but
it's kind of a ragtag team of
they're not scumbags,
right?
But
they're your standard Western characters, and they're not like squeaky clean guys, but they're probably better than most of the other guys.
Yep.
But they're kind of scoundrels. They're kind of likable scoundrels who are they're what do you call them? Bounty hunters.
Yep.
Who are just trying to make a buck, but they encounter all these crazy situations each episode that they just kind of get embroiled in.
And they have a sense of like a moral code.
Yes.
And the show Firefly to me is almost a straight ripoff of this because it's all of these things. And I love Firefly, but it's just less cool. Like it's just not as good. But if you enjoy Firefly, I think you would really enjoy Cowboy Bebop, and you can see what Firefly probably could have been,
Definitely,
or what it should have been, what Joss Whedon probably wanted it.
Both
to be.
one season. What's up with that?
Yep.
So the next one on our list is one that I think got a little overrated a couple of years ago, but it was for me. It's mostly just because I think media as a whole went down this dark, gritty hole.
Yep. Death Note.
I feel like we've come out of it a little bit, but the show is Death Note. And the best way that I can describe it, and the way that I thought of it the whole time I watched it, is it's a better version of Dexter.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
you think a lot of things are better versions of Dexter?
At least like two things. I don't know. But essentially, the problem I have with the show Dexter, about a psychopath who kind of uses his psychopathy for good, is that in that show, it relies on the fact that Dexter is maybe a kind of intelligent guy, and everyone else is a goddamn motherfucking moron. They're the dumbest human being.
Nobody can figure it out.
It's amazing that they can even tie their fucking shoes in that show. And that always drove me crazy. Like, it was unwatchable because all the other characters seem so...
Well, there was one character I knew, but the black cop guy, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but even he was... I don't know. They're all idiots. The reason that this show, I think, is as popular as it is, and it came out to be, is that it's so smart, it's so quick. The main character inherits finds a book from the underworld, I guess, that if you write someone's name in it, they die.
Yep.
And so he immediately, without hesitation, uses it to just start killing people that he deems are bad people. And then, unsurprisingly, that leads to a bunch of moral problems, and people are on his tail, and it's a great cat and mouse between him and what is his name? Is it L?
Yes, L.
L.
So there's Light, right?
Right. Light Yagami is the main character, and he's the guy who's using the Death Note to kill people that he deems as bad people. And then L, who's kind of a mysterious detective figure who's constantly on his tail, and I mean, right on his tail all the time. So it's this battle of wits every single episode, and it's just it's very compelling. It's very quick. It's very tense. Again, if you like Dexter, this is a better version of Dexter. You will like this show. Yeah,
I started Death Note. I never finished it because it feels so very like 2008 gothic emo to me.
Sure.
And that was never me. But I've watched enough that I was curious in watching the Netflix live action movie, which was horrible, which is a shame because Willem Dafoe was perfect casting.
That is perfect casting.
But I don't put necessarily Death Note in like a must watch category. It certainly wasn't that for me. But I will say, I think Death Note has a certain place in people who are anime lovers today. Everyone's at least attempted to watch. It's like a part of the mandatory catalog.
I was about to say, you might be surprised at how many people rank that as the best anime.
Yeah, I know people love it.
And I'm not saying that it can't be, but it's a little darker and more cynical than I generally prefer.
Yes, same here.
But I still enjoyed it, and I very much appreciated. Again, it's so snappy and it's so intelligent. It's really good. The next one I have on this list is Full Metal Alchemist, which is kind of deceptive because there's two of them. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, so just a little introduction. There's Full Metal Alchemist and there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and they're the same thing. Full Metal Alchemist was originally, I think it came in the United States, I want to say around 2004, and it's the interpretation of a manga by the same name, but it strays, the farther the show gets, the more it strays from the manga, and it's drastically different. So then in 2012, they brought it back, same voice cast in many of the cases, and decided to do a more faithful adaptation to the manga. So I recommend people watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is the newer version. And it is fantastic. It's what got me back into anime. Someone had recommended it to me, and it was kind of my point of view. There's a lot of new anime out here I haven't watched. It's come out in 15 years since I gave it up. So I probably powered through all 60 episodes in 2 weeks. The story is about two brothers and this it's our science magic hybrid thing called alchemy, where you can take elements that are present and then combine them to make new things. So if there's iron in the ground, I could take that iron out of the ground and make a spear out of it or something like that. And the concept is the two boys want to learn how to do that with the human body. Since the human body is made out of, all these minerals and these things are present in the atmosphere, why can't you make their mother died? So they want to give her a new body. And there are consequences that come. Everything comes with a price.
Right.
And it's a fantastic story. It's got a lot of things that I think are really popular today or maybe kind of waning. Like steampunk was really in for a while. It's very like turn of the century technology, yet like mystical in nature. And it's like a combination of fantasy, steampunk, World War I, era. There are a lot of people riding on trains. It's just super cool, and the brothers, the Elric brothers, they're great main characters. You really got to attach them. It is one that I would recommend. A person who hasn't watched anime, give that one a shot.
And this one's a little bit longer. For some of these, like for Cowboy Bebop, I haven't finished it because I don't want to finish it.
Yeah, it's like 20 episodes. 18 episodes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, but like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has
63
episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're looking for something that's a little bit longer, a little bit deeper of a story, then that's a good choice. Is there something else for the other ones? We've kind of come up with something to compare it to. If you like this, you'll like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I would say if you're into fantasy, I think you would like this because while it's probably a more modern setting than most fantasy stories tell, it's a very magic place. A huge influence, and like even like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, that you have these like circular stories. That plays a big part in this, and it's a big comparison. But if you like Lord of the Rings, I think you'd like Full Metal Alchemist.
Fair enough.
But I highly recommend that show.
Very good. The next one I have on here is also one that got real popular about the same time as Death Note, Attack on Titan.
Yep.
It's actually more recent than that now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, both Attack on Titan really, 2013, I think, season 1?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's slow to come out.
Yeah, oh God. The current season's on right now.
Season 3?
I forgot to write that down. It's things I'm watching. As far as comparisons, so the show itself is about, it's also kind of a steampunk, kind of semi-steampunk, semi-medieval society who's unexpectedly beset upon on these giant human-eating monsters called Titans. That
weird humanoid things without skin.
They're multiple stories tall. They're nigh unkillable.
They eat people.
They eat people in very brutal ways.
Yeah.
And so, kind of the whole society has developed around just protecting themselves from the Titans. And it's a story just kind of about trying to defeat the Titans, trying not to get there's a lot of different elements there. But my best comparison for this one is Game of Thrones, in the sense that it's a show that is like, if you like the characters, beware, because they don't give a fuck who they kill in this show.
Yeah.
It's very gritty. It's very, I'm going to say realistic, but I mean, like, they're not afraid to kill people off. They're not afraid to maim people. They're not, like, it's very unexpected that you can't really predict where the plot's going to go. The other thing I often compare it to is it's essentially a revitalization of the zombie genre.
Yeah, you say that. When I first watched it, the first thing that popped in my head is like, this is a better World War Z. Like, it's
right.
It's people facing this monster thing that they don't know how to control or combat, and they're just doing their best to survive, and they're not doing a very good job.
Right.
So it's much cooler than I think zombies we have.
Absolutely. Well, so I mean, they've kind of taken this idea of the mindless humanoid creature that eats you and like just literally scaled it up.
Godzilla.
Right.
Yeah.
And so instead of one zombie where you can run away from him, you can chop its head off. Now the thing is 40 feet tall and unstoppable. And so every single one is terrifying and come with this sense of hopelessness. And I think that's a really interesting take on it. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's this really interesting world. It's like I said, it's steampunk kind of medieval. There's a lot of political intrigue in it as well. The characters are really good, and also like the animation is also just gorgeous in this show as well.
There's I feel like this show has been the starting point for a lot of people recently. It's very popular.
Yeah,
Attack on Titan is very, very popular. You can find all sorts of merchandise at your local Hot Topic that is based on Attack on Titan. Also, interestingly enough, the 3 of the 4 we have talked about all have Japanese live action interpretations of them. Interestingly enough, Cowboy Bebop does not, and I think that goes to say how much people don't want to touch it.
Correct.
That you just can't get it right.
They nailed it the first time. Yep. No reason to go back.
Death Note is bad. I did watch the live action.
These are the live action versions.
Yeah. The live action Full Metal Alchemist, they do it. The story is different, yet still kind of maintains a lot of true sense. I recommend it because it's cool to watch those things in live action, but it's not good.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the live action Attack on Titan, but I do know that they take some shots straight from the anime, and it looks okay, for its budget, but I probably never will watch it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you like Game of Thrones, if you like The Walking Dead, or even just the concept of this kind of zombie terror, I think this would be it's a great entry point. It's easy to watch.
Yeah,
it's a good
entertaining.
Show. Yeah. The next one up on our list is one that, for me, it might next to Cowboy Bebop. It's probably right under it for me. However, I'm not sure if it's like a good entry point, or if it benefits from having watched anime before. But it's One Punch Man.
Yep.
And it's kind of a satirization. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Satirization.
Satire.
Yeah. It's kind of a satire of fighting anime genre, of superhero craze that's going on. The idea is you follow a character who wanted to be a hero, so he went off for 3 years and trained really hard, and then he came back and realized he way overtrained, and now he can kill anyone with one punch.
Yep.
And so it's, like I said, it takes a lot of not shots, but it pokes fun at a lot of the stereotypes and things that we associate with fighting genre in anime, and also it pokes fun at this idea of superheroes everywhere and kind of superhero saturation. But it also incorporates a lot of those elements from both of those things very well.
Yeah.
It's very quick. It's very funny. There's only one season. It's really just phenomenal. Like the animation in it is great. The characters are great. And it's one of those, so we haven't actually talked about this. We should have. This one has a subbed version, a subtitle version, and a dubbed version where it's dubbed over with an English voice. And usually a sub version, I don't feel like the humor comes off as well.
Yeah.
But the humor is still hilarious, even subtitled. So it's phenomenal. It's one season, and it's almost a perfect season. I don't want them to make another one.
I am currently watching it, but I have done about half the show in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to watch. It's very entertaining. And besides, like, it being very intentional, in making fun of these tropes, it's still, like, creates a narrative enough where you're into it, you accept it. What's funny to me, you talk about the sub and dub and it being very self-aware of what it is, and the show opens with a character called Vaccine Man, and who is an obvious ripoff of Piccolo.
Definitely.
And in the dub, they have Christopher Sabat, who played Piccolo.
Do they really?
Yes, he's Vaccine
That's
Man.
Funny.
So it knows what it is, and it's very intentional about it. And I don't think it's a great starting point because you have to watch other things. I would even say you probably need to watch like 40 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
And you see, that's the thing. Like, I think you would still enjoy it if you didn't, or if you weren't aware of some of the other tropes and things that other fighting anime get made fun of. I think it would still be an enjoyable show. But it's just like the jokes are funnier. You really come into more of an appreciation when you've seen other shows.
The stressing on training and what they do how does he do to become so powerful? I mean, that is every line. I've heard those lines before in other animes. Well, you talk about the animation. This show is really cool in that it changes animation styles
all the time,
and it's like appropriate based on what's happening, and it works so well.
No, it's one of those things that when I say humor in general, like they use the visual art style as part of the humor. Like sometimes that is the joke. It's very clever. It's very well done. It's A+ in my book.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I really enjoy it. I can't wait to finish it.
So all the ones that we've done so far have kind of been more fantastical. From space cowboys to superheroes and medieval societies. One of the ones that you and I both watched recently. That's kind of a more down-to-earth, slice-of-life one is an anime called Your Lie in April. Which is, not a great name, if I'm honest with you. But it's a show about a couple of young school-age children.
Middle
school. And it's mostly about this young boy who had he was a concert pianist, and he had
his mother passed away.
Personal tragedy. And he kind of stopped playing piano forever. That was his plan, but he kind of gets brought back into music and brought back into loving music by meeting kind of this, fantastic, exciting young girl. Free spirit. That's a great, If you like music, if you like classical music specifically, it's a must watch. Like the way that the pieces they pick and the way that they choose to weave a story into it and animate it, it's just, it's beautiful. It's phenomenal. What else did you have to think about it?
So one thing we haven't really talked about, we addressed kind of at the beginning, is that anime relies on tropes.
Yes.
And the tropes almost everyone we've talked about, there are similar tropes in all of them. It's why One Punch Man is as good as it is, because for fighting style animes, it just picks apart those tropes.
Yes.
And again, all the ones we've talked about kind of all have, the science fiction element, this fantasy element, and even, again, like steampunk but there is another very popular class of animes, which are high school dramas. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of school-age children in anime. And they all kind of deal with probably more adult concepts or thought processes that I certainly wasn't dealing with when I was their age.
Right.
Especially in Your Lie in April, because they're supposed to be like 13.
Right.
Like, deciding what high school they're going to, and this kid's talking about like how she lights up, the world, and that's not where my mind was at when I was 13. But these things are very, very popular. But I think Your Lie in April does it very, very well, and that it's very kind of sappy and cheesy and extremely tropey, and that there's like this kid loves somebody and his best friend's a girl and she's been in love with him the whole time and he doesn't know, but it just works.
It does.
You just buy it and it's fine. And I say, like, Cowboy Bebop is, to me, like, the perfect introduction. If there was an anime that I know that person's probably not going to enjoy the vast majority of anime. You're not going to enjoy the sci-fi element or the fantastical element. But I'm just like, hey, I think you'd really, really like this story. Your Lie in April would be the one I suggest to a person.
I think that's a great choice, yeah.
Because it's just, I think it's a timeless story almost. Like, I would, and that's one that I think would work really well in a live-action adaptation. I think you could make that a great movie.
It's also pretty much, it's an all-age groups, all...
Yep.
I think all people would appreciate that story. It's kind of a love story. It's kind of a coming of age thing.
Yep.
It's just very universal.
My final two thoughts on it. Number one is the inner struggle the character has of after losing his mother and this traumatic experiences, he can no longer hear the music he plays, which I think is a really, really cool, like...
And they portray it also really well.
Very well.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a really cool, like, inner struggle, anxiety attack kind of, like, symptom that I really dig. The second thing I would say is it's tropey, and I don't mean to come out, it's tropey in all the right ways. Like, this is how the tropes are meant to be relayed. Right. And a lot of times they're not. And they exist for a reason. They've been, the stories are just retold again. This is the way, when you say that, this is the way it's supposed to be done. This is a great tribute to some classic kind of like love story themes. And I can't recommend it enough. It's great.
Agreed. And again, especially if you like classical music, it is a must-watch.
Yes. It's a little longer than some of the ones we've talked about, but still only one season.
It's like 24 episodes.
Yeah. It's half of...
I guess that's fair.
Full Metal Alchemist.
They're very easy to watch.
Yep.
And the last one I have on this list is I was hesitant to put it on here because it's kind of a bad example of...
I haven't watched this one yet.
It's kind of a bad example for the rest of the genre in the sense that, kind of like Cowboy Bebop, there's nothing like it. I've never seen anything that's close to like it. But I put it on here because it's so unique.
Based on what I see from people talking about it or internet culture or whatever, to me this is like the hot one right now.
Yeah. So the show is called Kill La Kill. It's on Netflix. I think it's only...
It's also on Hulu.
Yeah, there is a dub version. I have seen some of the dub. There are a lot of people who are purists who believe that the sub the sub is the only way to go. I don't believe that. Like Cowboy Bebop, the dub is phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's true of a lot of the ones that are on this list. But this one, I think the sub is better. It's also a fighting anime. It's the plot and the world that it's set in are so absurd and ridiculous that it's almost impossible to describe it. But the central conflict is mostly about clothing.
Yep.
Like clothing that gives you superhuman powers. Yep. Yeah, but kind of like One Punch Man, it's aware of its own tropes. It's very funny. It's even funny in the subbed versions. The characters are really likable, and it's such a wonderful, wacky it has some of the anime tropes, but it also just has these ideas and concepts that are they're so original and they're so far from anything that I would have ever thought of. And it's a really fun story. And again, it's one season, and it doesn't lend itself to another season. They start a story and they finish that story, and that's the end. It's almost perfect the way that it is. So
I plan on checking it out eventually. I just haven't gotten around. There's so many things to watch. One thing I we didn't discuss this, but I feel like we should address is there are some like downsides to anime. Like we shouldn't just say that it's some like perfect art form. I think there are things that, you know, I would give a proper warning to anyone interested in watching it.
Sure.
For me, the big one is there is it's pretty misogynist in a lot of ways. There's some sexual assault issues in some of them. Maybe not so much in the ones that we listed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we intentionally picked ones that are not as bad in that
I'm just saying, if you're just going to go like shoot a dart and pick an anime,
for sure,
forewarned.
That's fair.
You talk a lot about how incest
There's a lot of incest.
This is prevalent. And look, I'm not defending those things. These things come from Japanese origin, and if that's, you know, more accepted in their culture or whatever, I'm not going to be the one to tell them not to do that. I'm not okay with these things. So for me, like we used to talk on this podcast, I tried watching Seven Deadly Sins. It was too much for me in that show, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I think we picked a good list in that these things aren't a problem in these anime, but they do exist.
Right, definitely.
Also, a lot of times they can be hyper violent.
For sure.
You should watch Devilman Crybaby.
Yes.
And there's some pretty disturbing shit.
The whole show is incredibly disturbing.
So, I know we've talked it up for like 45 minutes, but we also recognize that there are problems.
For sure.
Is there anything that you would recommend to a person to watch out for? Or?
It's hard because you and I are both really familiar with the tropes, so we just kind of accept them as is. So it's hard for me to sit down and kind of break down the things that would be foreign to somebody who's never seen it before, despite that's what we're trying to do. You know, one of the things is filler is a problem in general with a lot of things. Not with the things that we've listed, but, you know, the length is in general a problem. I don't know. Are there...
In a lot of cases, they don't know how to end a story.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's also true of most TV shows.
That's true.
I don't know. I can't think of other like problematic things. A lot of the time, the humor does not translate well. Mm-hmm. Again, with a few exceptions on our list, which is one of the reasons we put them on here. But no, I mean, I don't know. I trust in our audience to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I just don't want to sit here and be like, it's the best thing ever. And we're like, okay, there are obvious problems that...
I think the point of... the reason I want to do this podcast is I feel like it's a medium that gets undervalued and a little disrespected.
I think it's just widely misunderstood.
You know, that's actually probably better. It is widely misunderstood. And so we want to give you some good starting points to make up your own mind about it.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that's it. There are plenty of other things that we could list.
There are tons of them.
I think this is a good list to start out with.
If you do watch all of these things, or at least one of these things, and decide you want to watch more, I highly recommend Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho is great.
Inuyasha is a pretty popular one. I dug it. It's not my favorite, but you can watch Dragon Ball Z if you want.
It's a lot. You got to spend a lot of time. Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Is a good one. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, if you finish all these and you like them, just tweet at us. We'll give you lists.
We'll give you more. Or I'm sure you'll have recommended lists on your Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix account.
Definitely. So yeah, I think that's. Are you good with that for anime?
Anime.
All right, that's our
done.
If
we didn't rate any of these better or worse than Transformers,
well, it's because
they're on our list. They're all better than Transformers.
Exactly, they're all better than Transformers.
Yep,
that's why
that's true.
It's hard. Yeah, no, I mean, so this is a good entry point if people like this and want to listen more. We could probably come up with another list we wanted
to,
but
Ian's going to have more butt problems, and we can talk about anime.
Correct. So, yeah, anime part 1, stamped done. Give it a shot and let us know how you like it.
Absolutely.
So what have you been watching this past week?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I don't really remember. I started One Punch Man, and I have enjoyed that. I kind of put... I recently started Sword Art Online, and I kind of paused that to watch 2 shows, Jack Ryan and One Punch Man. And both of them I haven't finished, but I have started them both, and I enjoyed them both. My thing with Sword Art Online is you have warned me and prepped me for some of the stuff, so I haven't gotten there yet in those problems. I'm digging it so far. Mm-hmm. Anything else? I don't remember. I mean,
Sword Art Online is a great example of all the tropes not necessarily being used well.
They don't land.
It's so tropey.
Yeah, I think that's it, really. I started a bunch of stuff, but I didn't finish anything.
Fair enough. Well, I've been a busy little boy because the old ball and chain's been out of town, so I've had a lot of time on my hands.
You.
Correct. So I watched 3 movies this weekend. I watched I Kill Giants, which is kind of a fantastical tale of a young girl who sees fantastical things that may or may not be real, which sounds a lot like Pan's Labyrinth, because it is a lot like Pan's Labyrinth, but worse.
It would be hard to top it.
That's fair, but I like where it starts out. It starts out with the fact that like the girl's really weird. She's very odd, and obviously she fully believes in the things in what she sees. And so I like the fact that she's not like getting along with other people because she's too weird.
Is this the one that the poster, like, there's like a giant in the background? It's this girl. She has like a giant like axe hammer.
That's
thing?
the one.
Yep. Okay.
But I think the movie kind of loses its way, and I don't know. One of the things that bothers me is that they never really pick a side on whether the things are real or whether they're not, and maybe it doesn't matter. But fuck it.
It matters to you.
It matters to me, and I don't know. I don't think the story is that great. I think there was potential there that wasn't mined. I also watched Wind River, which is written by the same guy. It was directed by, but also written by the same guy who did Hell or High Water.
Yep.
He wrote Sicario, apparently. And I guess he's doing a new show called Yellowstone that I haven't seen.
Yeah, with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's really good. He's got
Jeremy Renner.
I don't know why I always underestimate Jeremy
Elizabeth
Renner.
Olsen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's got a very specific story in that it's like this very bleak, dark, modern Western feel.
That's kind of his thing.
But specifically at that, he's killing it because this movie is also really, it's tight, it's phenomenal. I recommend it. And then I also watched. It's also better than Transformers. I Kill Giants is worse than Transformers. And then I watched Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, which is the only other official DC animated movie I haven't seen. But I still haven't seen Batman Ninja. But so I mean, it's a Suicide Squad movie. It follows like Deadshot. It's all the villains teaming up in kind of a heist for their lives. It's fine. It's not bad. It's not great. It's Sam Liu who does a lot of the movies. He's very capable of making a competent DC movie. I wouldn't go out of your way to see it, but it's entertaining for what it is.
How's the voice cast in it?
Well, are you the one that hates? No, we were just talked about this. It's the same podcast. Never mind. Christian Slater is the voice of Deadshot. Yeah, yeah. See, but that's the thing. I like his voice, and I understand he's not a good actor, but I like he's got an interesting voice.
It would make sense as a villain.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like DC characters, if you liked Suicide Squad the movie, you'd like this movie. Again, it's a little.
What are the odds of that one person listening to our podcast? Probably not great, right? The one person who enjoyed Suicide Squad.
Was it David Ayers? Is that the one who made it?
He's a big fan of that.
But yeah, it's fine. I'm still going to say worse than Transformers, probably. I wouldn't go back to it, but it's whatever. But yeah, I also rewatched the whole thing of One Punch Man this past week. I'm rewatching BoJack Horseman from start to finish because, again, the new season's coming out soon. And I forgot to mention this the last couple weeks. Attack on Titan Season 3 is currently airing week to week. It's coming out on Hulu. It's 24 episodes.
It's long.
I know. It's great. And I'm digging it, man. It's a great show. It holds up really well. But yeah, I think that's it. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Ian should be back next week.
One of these days, we're going to change the name of the podcast. We did not get any suggestions this week. Come on, guys.
It's like there's only like 30 people that listen to
Otherwise, we have to come up with it ourselves.
We don't want to be original.
We don't. Please come up with it for us. But thank you guys for listening, and let us know what you think about this episode and your either if you just refuse to watch anime or if you liked your first anime exploit. Just let us know. I want to genuinely want to hear your thoughts on.
If you have suggestions of animes we should watch, I'm sure Joseph and I would appreciate it.
For sure. But yeah, no, if you want to reach us, you can reach us at betterthantransformers@gmail.com. You can reach us on Twitter and Facebook at BTTransformers. I don't know if anybody listens to this, this segment of the show, but also, I don't know if anybody listens to our anime segments of our What Are We Watching. So, I genuinely want to hear your feedback and see who listens to it or who's interested in it. But yeah, thank you to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.